Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Well, I got the plywood today from Home Depot, and a 1/2-inch 4-ply for 20 bucks a sheet. So we got two of them. We got them out in the truck right now, and we're going to try to put the plywood up on the generator shed today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them painted with the oil base. I don't have all that much, but I would like to paint them on the flat before I mount them after I cut the wood to the sizes I need. Well, today I picked up the plywood. I had to buy a bag of this to keep the weight, believe it or not, but I'm going to use this for the ants we do have. Sometimes we get some ants around the house to keep it down, because you got a short bed, only a 6-foot bed, and with this in it, it makes it even less, so I didn't want to lose it. It's 1/2-inch, 20 bucks a sheet, 4-ply. So it doesn't look like 1/2-inch, but you know what? Everything's fractions thereof now. But anyways, I'm going to unload this. One sheet I'll put here on the picnic table, and the other sheet I'll put on my work table over there, and we'll start measuring up here what I got to have. What I want to do first is to put the roof on, and I measured 51 inches for an overhang, 2-inch overhang, but I forgot to allow for the thickness of the plywood, which is 1/2 inch, so a total of 1 inch, so I need to make it 52 wide. But I got the full sheet, so I can cut that accordingly. I took a lot of careful measurements. We're going to put a sheet from here down to here, and this will be the service, one of the service door to get the generator in and out. And over here will be the main operating door for starting it and everything else. And over here, I've been looking on YouTube and getting ideas as to the exhaust fans and stuff. I was going to take my 14-inch box fan and put it here and blow air into the air intake, because the exhaust is going to be that end. I can't turn the generator around because all my controls are on, it'd be facing the wall there, and I wouldn't be able to use them. So from what I have seen, everybody puts the air intake as a grate, a 20 by 20 inch air grate, which I'm going to get later, will go here. And at this end, where there's going to be a service door, will contain an exhaust port, but I'm not sure whether I want to run flex tubing, exhaust tubing up like this and have the exhaust port up here. I probably won't do that. I'll probably have it coming out, and they use metal dryer vents, I notice, for the exhaust. The only problem is coupling the exhaust to the pipe to the generator muffler. I can't weld, so I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'll worry about that later. Another issue was I could just put the generator close to a vent here and just let it go that way, but I want to try to keep the heat out of it. So I think I better get to work. Okay, we got some weight on this end here. This is going to be the roof panel right here, 38 by 52 instead of 51, 52, because of the allowing for a total of 1 inch, a 1/2 inch on each side of the plywood. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to strap on a piece of 2x to hold this end up here. But you know what? I think I've got something that I can put underneath there, and I might as well utilize it. And I'll bring it out. Alright, I bought this quite a few years ago at a yard sale. Could have got 2 of them, but I didn't have enough money. I got them for $15 a piece, and these are real good. The rollers, you know, to roll your plywood off a table saw and stuff. But we're still going to put I'm going to put a board here, because when we cut it, we don't want it to fall down. So we'll cut about, as much as we can, and then put another clamp, a couple of clamps, and hold it from doing one of these, because we don't want it to tear away. And then we'll drop a straight edge on that and run the saw down there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 1/3 or so into the wood, starting at the far end, and then I'm going to drop a board with some clamps in there to keep the thing from dropping down, and then continue cutting until I get about 3/4 of the way through on this end. Okay, this is the roof panel here. I got to make this cut here because it's 38 inches from here to here and 52 inches from here down there. So we'll have this piece, and we've got this extra piece over here which will be used for probably the top on the side over here. We utilize every piece we can. Now, you see the edge here of the skill saw, which we wanted to ride along here, which is fine at the ends. But here, if you look, if we didn't push this down, we would have a tendency to cut in. This thing would slip underneath and screw our line up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some weight in there. We're going to put something heavy on there. We don't want to screw into here. I can screw this down, but I don't want to do that. We want a good piece of plywood. We don't want holes in it, except when I nail it. So we're going to put some weight here to hold this down, so when I run this saw here, it isn't going to work its way under here. So I think a couple of microwave oven transformers will do just fine. It'll hold that right down, and we're right to the wood here. If we had a bigger lip on the tables, on the skill saw, you know, a little higher lip, I wouldn't have to worry about that. But I've had this slip under wood before and screwed me up, so. All right, I'm gonna cut this off now. Enough flapping. Here's where things are going to get a little messy. I want to take the oil base and do the edges of this. But I'm not going to paint the top because I don't know when I'm going to get to putting the roofing on. I can't do everything in one day. I still got to do the sides, and I got the other piece of plywood on the picnic table over there to do the sides and the doors out of. But I do want to do the edges, and I'll probably put tarpaulin over the top of this temporarily and clamp it on with the clips and stuff, spring clips, to keep it dry until I get around to doing the roofing. But I'm going to do all 4 edges with the paint, so we'll come back on this video when I get that done and ready to mount it. Alright, I decided to paint just the part near the shed for now, on the bottom and the edge, and a little bit on the top, about 1 inch in, as you can probably see from here. So I'm going to put the plywood up there, put a clamp in the middle of it, and nail it down, and then I can do the edges on the ground. Be a lot easier. And then I might put some paint on the middle, I don't know yet, because I don't want to use up all my oil-based paint. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do the sides, all the sides, and I'm going to have to use that watercolor crap. That's not going to protect the wood at all. But I'm just going to do this one edge here that you see right there, which is already done. I'm going to put the plywood up now. What I got to do first is to bring the plywood, get it on there, clamp it down, make sure it's centered left and right, and tack it with a couple of nails, and then nail it, get a ladder and nail the rest of it all down. So I got to climb up on that roof. Not much of a roof, but it's going to be, I got to draw some lines where the joists are, so I know, just like I did when I built my addition to the shed. So we're going to commence to bringing that wood over right now. We're going to get center on that. Get my ruler out. I just put a nail in just a little bit here because I got to get my weight up on there, and before I can do that I got to mark the joist, put a line through here and on each end here, so that we'll make sure we put the nail here on the joist and not coming out through the plywood like we did with the addition here. So we have to make sure you don't want to nail the ends because we got a little bit of a bow there, not much, in the plywood. So this is just to keep from losing it. Now I got to get my straight edge and draw some lines here, and get the ladder and get my ass up here. So we'll join you when I'm ready to do that. Time to haul ass.
Well, the other night when I come home, side I could not see. I got tangled up in the old doormat, fell flat as I could be. I fell and I broke a bottle of gin and I didn't have no more. Cap flew off when I fell down, I spilled it on the floor. A rat came out of his hiding place and he got that whiskey scent. He ran right out and he got a little shot, and back to his hole he went. Back to his hole he went. Back to his hole he went. He ran right out and he got a little shot.
Before I climb up here, we got to make sure that my weight is in the middle here. We're going to nail it because, I mean, it's got enough nails in it. It isn't going to slide off. but well, just for safety reasons, we gotta, get a few more nails, and then I get my ass up here and start nailing. They're not perfect, but as close as I can. 15-inch on center here, and over there we're 14. I thought we were 16, but I guess not. We were 14. That's just the way it came out. Like I say, I couldn't balance this because I couldn't figure, unless this was if this was a 48-inch header, wide header, I'd be able to space these out at 16 inches. But that's another story, and we've already discussed that on my other video. So we've got the roof coming right in under here. We cut in on here, so we got this plywood butted right up against here. And what I'm going to do with the roofing and the sheathing and so forth is I'm going to come up here like that and come right down. I could take these out, but then I have to screw around with here and everything. All right, I'm going to finish nailing this. So you don't really need to watch me, but I'll let you watch a little bit here. I'll put a couple more nails in. I've got some here, I've got one here, and I got a couple here. So we're gonna go get a few more, and then I'll get my ass up here and go to work on it.
Old Grady lived in the shanty row, and the people often said they wished that he would move away or else his goat was dead. He kept the children in a fright, and the people often vexed. They didn't know just where when the goat would turn up next. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. With their guns, their sticks, their knives, the husbands and their wives, they tried most all their lives to kill old Grady's goat. Mrs. Murphy hung her clothes out on the line to dry. She went to get them in at night and stopped to make her cry. The sleeves of two red woolen shirts that once were worn by Pat were both chewed off up to the neck, and old Grady's goat done that. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. With their guns, their sticks, their knives, the husbands and their wives, they tried most all their lives.
Okay, I've got those all nailed in. I probably should have used number 6s, but that's all right. I got quite a few nails in there. And it don't look like I got any nails coming through. Looks like I made it all right. What we got here? That's a knot. Okay, it looks like we did okay. Yeah. All right, let's show you the top. And you see, we got them roughly 5 inches apart or so. I probably could put a couple more in the header, but I got to measure the header and ensure I hit that and not miss. But she's good and solid. I can always probably put a few number 6s in there.
Stop to make her cry. The sleeves of two red woolen shirts that once were worn by Pat were both chewed off up to the neck. Oh, Grady's goat